Capricorn, if you've recently felt that life is asking you to be patient while something important develops behind the scenes, don't mistake the silence for stagnation. The week of August 15th to 21st, 2026, may become one of those periods you understand only after it has passed. Something you've been building slowly could finally begin producing visible results, while an unexpected opportunity may force you to reconsider what you thought your next step would be. This week isn't about sudden miracles. It is about the moment when preparation finally meets opportunity. And Capricorn, you have been preparing for longer than most people realize. You may have carried responsibilities without complaining. You may have continued working while others doubted you. You may have stayed focused even when the results were slow. But now the energy begins to shift. A door may open. A conversation may change your plans. A financial opportunity may appear. A person from your past may return. Or you may suddenly understand why a certain chapter had to unfold the way it did. During August 15th to 21st, 2026, planetary influences encourage you to focus on career, financial structure, long-term security, relationships, emotional maturity, and the future you are quietly building. This is not a week for wasting energy on things that no longer matter. It is a week for deciding what deserves your effort. If this reading resonates with you, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Stay until the end, because this week carries important messages about career, money, love, relationships, unexpected opportunities, social connections, emotional transformation, and one decision that could become a major turning point later this year. Capricorn, you have a strange relationship with success. You rarely want something just because it looks impressive. You want something that lasts. You want security. You want results. You want to know that the effort you are putting in today will still matter tomorrow. And that is exactly why this week may feel so important. You may finally see evidence that your previous sacrifices were not meaningless. Professionally, something begins moving. A supervisor may recognize your work. A long-term project could reach an important stage. A promotion may become possible. A new position may appear. Or someone with influence may approach you because they recognize qualities you've been quietly developing for years. Leadership, reliability, discipline, patience, strategic thinking. You may not be the loudest person in the room, Capricorn, but people remember who can be trusted when things become difficult. And that reputation can become extremely valuable now. If you've been considering a career change, don't dismiss the idea simply because you've invested so much time in your current path. Your experience isn't wasted. It becomes part of your foundation. You can change direction without starting from zero. Everything you've learned travels with you. And if you're considering starting your own business, this week is especially useful for preparation. Don't focus only on the dream. How much will it cost? Who are your customers? What problem are you solving? How will you generate income? What happens if growth takes longer than expected? Capricorn, your greatest advantage is that you can turn an idea into a system. Use that ability. A dream becomes powerful when it has a plan underneath it. There may also be an unexpected professional conversation this week. Someone could mention a role you hadn't considered. A former colleague may contact you. A business connection could introduce you to someone important. Or an opportunity could appear through a person you haven't spoken to in a long time. Don't ignore these connections. Sometimes the person who opens your next door is someone you haven't seen in years. Financially, the week brings a strong message about stability. You may see signs of improving income. A delayed payment could arrive. A side project may become more profitable. A new client could appear. Or you may discover a way to turn an existing skill into another source of income. But there is an important distinction. More money is not the same thing as greater financial security. If your income increases but your spending increases even faster, nothing has really changed. This week encourages you to think differently. Save before spending. Plan before investing. Research before committing. And think about what your financial life could look like 1 year from now. You may be tempted to make a large purchase as a reward for your hard work. Enjoying your success is not wrong. But ask yourself whether the purchase supports your future or simply satisfies today's emotions. There is also a possibility of a financial decision involving another person. A family member may ask for help. A friend may propose an investment. Someone may want to borrow money. Or you may be invited into a business arrangement. Be careful. You can love someone and still say no. You can support someone emotionally without becoming financially responsible for them. Protecting your stability is not selfish. It is wisdom. And Capricorn, your relationship with money may be changing in a deeper way. You may no longer want money simply for status. You may want it for freedom, for peace, for choices, for the ability to walk away from situations that no longer respect you. That is a much more powerful reason to build wealth. When it comes to love, this week becomes surprisingly emotional. If you're already in a relationship, you may begin thinking more seriously about the future. You may discuss commitment, living arrangements, marriage, family, money, travel, or another major decision. The relationship may reach a point where vague promises are no longer enough. You want to know where things are going. And that desire for clarity is completely understandable. But don't approach the conversation as an interrogation. Approach it as a partnership. Tell your partner what you want, then ask what they want. Listen carefully, because their answer may reveal whether the two of you are actually building the same future. If the relationship is strong, this week can bring greater security. You may make an important decision together. A shared goal could bring you closer. You may realize that your partner is more committed than you previously believed. But if you've been carrying the relationship alone, the imbalance may become impossible to ignore. Capricorn, relationships require effort from both people. You cannot build a bridge by yourself and expect another person to meet you halfway. They have to build too. Watch actions, not just promises. For single Capricorn natives, there may be an interesting romantic possibility through work, professional networking, friends, education, travel, or an unexpected social encounter. This person may not immediately seem like your usual type. They may be quieter, more mature, more reserved, or simply different from the people you've dated before. But something about their personality may make you curious. And that curiosity could grow slowly. Don't rush it. Some relationships arrive like fireworks. Others arrive like sunrise, quietly, gradually, almost unnoticed, until suddenly the entire landscape is illuminated. That may be the kind of connection developing around you. There is also a possibility that someone from the past returns. A former partner may contact you. An old friend may appear. Someone you thought had forgotten you may suddenly send a message. Before reopening the door, remember why it closed. People can change. But change must be demonstrated. Don't allow nostalgia to rewrite history. Ask yourself whether this person belongs in the future you're building, not simply whether they remind you of the past. Your emotional transformation this week may be one of the most important parts of your journey. Capricorn, you are often the person others depend on. But who do you depend on? Who do you call when you're tired? Who listens when you don't have the answers? Who sees the person behind the responsibility? You may realize that you've become so good at carrying everything that you've forgotten you are allowed to put some things down. This week gives you permission to rest. You don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to answer every message immediately. You don't have to rescue everyone. You don't have to prove your strength every day. Strength also means knowing when to pause. And this emotional shift may improve your physical energy as well. If you've been constantly pushing yourself, Your body may begin asking for balance. Better sleep. More quiet. More movement. More time outdoors. More moments without screens. You don't need to transform your entire lifestyle overnight. Small habits can restore what constant pressure has taken away. Your social circle may also change. You may become more selective about the people around you. Someone who once felt important may begin to feel emotionally distant. Another person may unexpectedly become much closer. You could discover that someone you've known casually actually understands you better than people you've known for years. Don't judge connections only by history. Judge them by quality. A long friendship isn't automatically a healthy friendship. And a new friendship isn't automatically superficial. People can enter your life at exactly the right moment. There may also be a professional connection that develops into something much more important. Someone could introduce you to a new opportunity. A conversation at an event could lead to business. A casual recommendation could change your career direction. So don't isolate yourself. You don't need to attend every event. But when something genuinely interesting appears, consider going. Your future may be connected to someone you haven't met yet. Now let's look at the important days of your week. August 15th begins with reflection and organization. You may feel the need to clean up unfinished business, both professionally and emotionally. August 16th is favorable for career planning, applications, negotiations, and important conversations. Speak confidently about your abilities. August 17th requires financial caution. Avoid unnecessary spending and carefully review any investment or financial agreement. August 18th could bring unexpected information. A message, phone call, or professional conversation may change your plans. August 19th is especially meaningful for love and emotional relationships. Couples may discuss the future, while single Capricorns could experience an unexpected attraction. August 20th is favorable for networking, learning, business connections, and social activity. Someone you meet may become important later. August 21st brings clarity. A situation that has confused you may finally make sense. And Capricorn, there is one warning you should remember throughout this week. Don't confuse patience with waiting forever. You are naturally patient. You can work towards something for years. But patience becomes unhealthy when it keeps you in a situation that no longer grows. If you've been waiting for someone to change for years, ask yourself what their actions have already told you. If you've been waiting for recognition at work, ask yourself whether there is another environment where your skills would be valued more. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment to start something, remember that perfection rarely arrives. There comes a moment when preparation must become action. This week may be that moment. As the days unfold, you may find yourself standing at a crossroads. One path is familiar. It offers security, but perhaps it has become too predictable. The other path contains uncertainty, but it also contains growth. And you may feel torn between protecting everything you've built and creating something new. Don't destroy your foundation just because you're ready for expansion. Build upward. Use what you've learned. Take calculated risks. Move strategically. You don't have to abandon everything. You simply have to stop letting fear determine the size of your future. Capricorn, you have spent years building yourself through discipline. Now it's time to build through trust. Trust your experience. Trust your intuition. Trust your ability to adapt. You don't need to know every detail of the next 5 years. You only need to know what deserves your next step. And that step could come from an unexpected opportunity. A new job. A business idea. A financial possibility. A relationship. A conversation. Person. Something may appear small at first, but small beginnings can become large transformations. Think about a mountain. Nobody reaches the summit with one enormous leap. They take hundreds of steps. Some are difficult. Some are slow. Some are almost invisible from a distance, but together they change the altitude. Your life works the same way. Every disciplined choice you've made has brought you here. And this week, one more choice could take you much higher. There may also be a powerful realization around your past. Something you once considered a failure may finally reveal its purpose. The job you didn't get may have pushed you towards something better. The relationship that ended may have taught you boundaries. The financial mistake may have taught you discipline. The period of loneliness may have taught you independence. You don't have to love everything that happened to you, but you can still learn from it. Your past doesn't have to become a prison. It can become a foundation. When something unexpected happens during August 15th to 21st, 2026, don't immediately assume that it is working against you. The delay may be protection. The rejection may be redirection. The ending may be freedom. The new responsibility may be preparation for leadership. The unexpected person may become a valuable connection. And the uncomfortable conversation may finally release you from uncertainty. Capricorn, sometimes life doesn't remove an obstacle because it wants you to stop. Sometimes it removes the obstacle because it wants you to take a different road. This week, pay attention to those changes. Your intuition may be quieter than your ambition, but it knows more than you think. Listen when something feels wrong. Listen when something feels right. And most importantly, don't ignore repeated patterns. If the same problem keeps appearing, perhaps the lesson isn't about the situation. Perhaps the lesson is about the choice you keep making. That realization can be powerful. Because once you recognize the pattern, you can break it. By the end of the week, you may feel more grounded. You may have greater clarity about your career, more control over your finances, a deeper understanding of a relationship, a stronger boundary with someone, or simply a clearer sense of what you want next. And that clarity may be worth more than any sudden breakthrough. Because once you know where you're going, you stop wasting energy walking in circles. So protect your money, protect your time, protect your energy, protect the people who genuinely love you. But don't protect yourself so much that you become afraid to grow. Take the meeting. Apply for the opportunity. Have the conversation. Start the project. Say no when you need to. Say yes when something aligns with your future. And allow yourself to imagine more. Because August 15th to 21st, 2026 may be the week when the quiet work you've been doing finally begins to speak for itself. Capricorn, your greatest reward may not arrive as one dramatic moment. It may arrive as a series of small confirmations. The right message, the right person, the right opportunity, the right decision, the right moment. And eventually you'll realize that none of it was random. You were becoming ready. So don't give up simply because the results took longer than you expected. Some things take time because they are being built to last. And you, Capricorn, were never meant to build a temporary life. You were meant to build something solid, something meaningful, something that survives difficult seasons, something you can look at years from now and say, I built this with my own hands. The week of August 15th to 21st, 2026 may not give you everything at once, but it may give you the next piece. And sometimes that's all destiny needs to give you. Because once you place that piece where it belongs, the entire picture begins to make sense. Your patience has not been wasted. Your effort has not been forgotten. And the future you've been quietly building may finally be closer than you think.